Hello and welcome to the Intuitive Heart Healing Podcast. My name is Valerie McLaughlin. I am your host for this week's podcast. I created this podcast because I wanted to share stories of healing and spirituality, and I wanted to connect with all of you and give you channeled information, tell you my stories, help tell other people's stories, and just talk about the journey as it unfolds. And today's podcast, I want to talk about healing versus curing, or heal and versus cure, however you want to look at it. There, because one of the messages that I keep receiving is to go back to basics. And what does that look like, and what does that mean? And I've been really diving into it and looking at re-recording some information I have shared before and sharing it maybe in a different light because my viewpoint has kind of changed, but also because I think people are ready to hear it and hear it differently. Even if it's the same thing, the energy around it is just different. And one of the things that came up for me was to talk about healing versus curing, and I've talked about this before, I'm sure, because with me everything is healing, and I talk about the healing journey, and really the healing journey is our lifelong path. It is what we came here to do. We came here to feel our emotions, to spread love, to be loved, but also, and to be able to do this even more, we are to heal parts of us so that we can shift and change the energy and relationship to that, so we can expand and we can share it outward. And healing ourselves, we also help others by inspiring them to go down the same path. Healing is not always beautiful. The end product to me is always beautiful, but going through the healing journey is can be challenging. It can be hard. It can be oh geez, it can be many things. It can look ugly. It can look happy. Something could be really hard and challenging with a lot of tears, and then you may go through something very similar and it be different because you shifted and changed the energy around it. And so I want to talk to you really today about the difference between healing and curing, because there is this misconception that they're the same thing, and they're not. And so when people come to me for a healing session, I try to make it pretty clear that, like, we're going to heal your relationship to something. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is going to be cured. And in order to kind of start off this episode, I want to talk a little bit about the differences and actually really go into the definitions, because there is a difference between healing and curing. There's is a difference, but they could also be similar. You can do healing that may cure you of something, but you can do healing that may just change your relationship to that energy and make you feel better about whatever that is. So let's really start with talking about the actual definitions of the words, because I like to do this. I like to kind of like dive into it. And we're going to be talking about it also in a spiritual way, but a lot of our definitions start with the dictionary. So the word cure can be both a noun and a verb. The word heal is only referred to as a verb. So healing is a verb. So cure can be a noun and it can be a verb. So let's start with cure as a noun. So here are some of the definitions. Recovery or relief from a disease. Something such as a drug or a treatment that cures a disease. A course or period of treatment. Complete or permanent solution or a remedy. So let's talk about cure as a verb. Being cured or curing. To restore to health, soundness, or normality. To bring about recovery from, whatever that is. To deal with in a way that eliminates or rectifies. To free from something, objectivity, or harm. Like trying to cure yourself of a bad habit. That would be an example of how to use it in a sentence. So let's talk about healing. Healing is a verb. To make free from injury or disease, to make sound or whole. So listen to it. To make sound or whole. To make feel well again, to restore health. To cause an undesirable condition to be overcome. To patch up or correct. To restore to the original purity or integrity. So I hope you can listen to these definitions and see that there is some similarities to them, but also difference. So you can heal and you can actually cure something. Or you can heal and overcome the relationship to it. So if we just take like your eyes, like I wear glasses. I wear glasses because I can't see far and I can't see near. So I can do healing to help heal my eyes. If I no longer wear glasses, then I am healed and cured. If I still wear glasses, but I did healing around my eyes, I may still see clearly or see things clearly, not with actually my physical eyes, but also it's the relationship. So I cured the fact that because I can't see, I have other things like I can wear all these beautiful different glasses, and that makes me happy and that becomes part of me. So I'm not curing my eyesight, but I'm healing what it means not to have perfectly clear eyesight and how I can relate to that. You know, I love wearing glasses. I love having all different kinds of glasses. But when I first started, I was like, oh, I got to wear these glasses every day. It was different. The different relationship I have around it. So I was looking up some differences of like what's healing versus curing, and I came across, and I think it was like the Psychiatry Times, or I can't remember. I don't remember what it was, where it was. I should have wrote it down. Like I wrote down what it was, what I want to share with you, but I didn't write down where I got it from. And it said curing means eliminating all evidence of disease, while healing means becoming whole. And you heard that in the definition of healing. It's about restoring, becoming whole, being pure, being in integrity, to correct, to overcome. These are words that are described to the meaning of healing. What does it mean? So when I look at curing, I look at curing as totally getting rid of. When I look at healing, it's about shifting the relationship, shifting the energy. Spiritually talking, healing is about a shift in energy, but it is also about coming whole. It is going back to oneness. It's about opening yourself up to more love, which is about integrity and purity and all those things. So just because we have sessions or you have sessions with people with healing doesn't mean that you're going to cure something, but it does mean that you're going to change the relationship, and how you feel is going to shift and change. It's going to have a huge impact over your overall well-being. And you think about it, when somebody has cancer, a lot of the cancer treatments will go and it will be about healing that cancer. But in healing that cancer, it affects a lot. People lose their hair, they lose weight, they lose their taste, they have reactions to the medicine that's within them. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying anything bad about anything, because I believe that we need a balance of medicine and a spiritual healing practice, whatever that looks like for all of us. But it cures them of cancer, but it could cause other discomforts within them, cause them to be throwing up and causing them to lose their hair, and then causing them to have a different viewpoint of themselves. And there might be some like emotions and feelings that come up about losing their hair. So you get cured of the disease, but there's also things for you to do to help you heal the process that you just went through. And it also brings up challenges and brings up areas for you to actually heal. So healing is about changing yourself within. And in doing that, some of the benefits are you feel better. You may not feel these aches and pains. Something that you may have already had may go away. It doesn't necessarily mean that they do, but you feel more pure, more whole, and you bring in more love, which changes your whole being. And the healing journey can be really ugly, because in order to begin to heal, you have to go into these areas and you have to face them. Now, you may have heard me talk before, and I do believe this. There are some things that we can heal that we don't need to know. And it could be something that we're holding on from past lives that's just kind of sitting there, that we can shift and move the energy and move it out. I do believe that wholeheartedly in my heart, that if you're willing and you want to shift and change it, that you can actually do that. But I know that a lot of the healing is that you have to face it head on. And so you can come to somebody like me who does energy healing, whether it's your Akashic record healing, quantum healing, intuitive heart healing, guidance, because to me it's all connected. Or you could go to somebody else, like a doctor, chiropractor, acupuncturist, masseuse, hypnotist, astrologer, whatever it is, and you can do work with them. And they can help you, but you have to be an active participant in this journey. So if something comes up in your healing session, it's coming up for you to face it in healing. It's not coming up for you to say, oh, that's why I'm like this. When you stay in that energy of, that's why I'm like this, that's why I went through this is what's causing it, and that's where you leave it at, you're not healing it. It almost becomes like an excuse of this is why you are who you are. But if you allow yourself to receive this information and say, oh, this is what happened. This is what I've been suppressing and holding on to. Let's go and face this. Let's talk to that version of ourselves. Let's forgive ourselves or somebody else. And you start to really do that work, and you start to face it, and you start to show it love, and you start to say, this is not me anymore. I don't want this to be a part of me. This is not who I am. Yes, it helped me to be who I am, but it does not define who I am. That's when you begin to heal. That's when you begin to release. And it's not to say that you can't go to healing energy workers and do some things and get something out of it. But you can get so much more out of it when you become the active participant. I talk about this in my practice all the time, especially when I get new clients that I work with. I tell them, I am not the healer. You are the healer. You are the powerful healer. I am here only to facilitate the healing energy to come in, to help guide you where you are to go. But it's really up to you to face that. It's really up to you to go in there and say, I don't want this anymore. And learn the lessons and learn the wisdom that this has taught you. Because every situation is an opportunity to learn and heal. Every situation, whether it's within us or without us. And when we talk about forgiveness and forgiveness work, it's about changing that energy of what you're holding on to. Do you still want to hold on to anger, hate, shame, guilt, sadness? Or do you want to let it go? And in order to let it go, you forgive. You have to forgive. You have to forgive the person, the situation, the place, the object, whatever it is. And it's not about them. It's not about letting them off the hook. It's not about them at all. It's about you and how you want to feel and how you want to be and how you want to continue to live your life. It's not about them. Holding grudges, that's about you, not about them. And if you begin to stop making everything about other people and start focusing on yourself and what you see within yourself, what you can heal, what you can let go of, it's all about you. It is all about you. It's all about how you want to be. And I know we're not taught this. But that's what healing is coming back to that wholeness, coming back to yourself, coming back to your own integrity. How many times have you not said something because you didn't want to rock the boat? But whatever was happening was going against what you believed in here. And you let it go and you let it go. And it is what it is. It's what you did in the moment for whatever reason. But you might be holding on to that energy and you don't want to take it anymore and you don't want to stop that. You want to align back into your integrity. That is all part of healing. That is all part of your healing journey. That is all part of you wanting to get back to who you are. Shifting that energy. Remember, energy can be shifted and changed. And everything from our words, from our movements, from our intentions, from our actions, from how we hold ourselves, it's all energy. And it doesn't get blocked. It gets slow, it gets stagnant, or it gets fast. And different energies within your body are to be moving at different frequencies within themselves. So if we talk about your chakras, each chakra has its own unique frequency. And when there is an imbalance in that chakra, it's because of many things could cause the imbalance, but the imbalance could be that instead of moving at the frequency it is intended to move at, it's moving too fast or it's moving too slow. And if it's moving too fast, there's an opportunity to heal. And if it's moving too slow, there's an opportunity to heal. And there's an opportunity for you to grow. And sometimes it is meant to kind of shift and change their frequencies to bring attention to you on areas and opportunities for you to heal and grow. To become one, become wholeness, to reconnect with you. Healing is a reconnection back to yourself. And in facing you, it's not about anybody else. It's not about whoever you go to. And your healing is all up to you. I hold space to help people heal. And in that space, there is no space for egos. Egos at all. Because it's held in pure, divine love. To shine light on you. To show you how beautiful you are. How amazing you are. To show you your light. Holding that space as a reflection so that you can see who you are and the opportunities of who you can become by allowing the healing to happen and to walk this path on this journey. I'm just a conduit. Any healer out there is a conduit. I remember when I first started and people would sit there and say how powerful I was, and that made me very uncomfortable. And that was something for me to heal. And part of me didn't understand it at all. And at first too, I was afraid. I was afraid that what I was pulling in was too much, and that's what they meant by powerful. And I believe we all connect at different energetic frequencies, and that the frequency in which I pull through is not meant for everybody. And that's okay. And I also have learned along the way of how to adjust that frequency for who I am working with. But when they see and say that I am powerful, it's not me that they're seeing. It's a version of themselves. It's a version of you. And so if you go to somebody and you see some things within them that aren't sitting right within you, look within yourself to see where that is within you. And if really it doesn't feel right, then don't go there. It's all about where you feel the most connected and comfortable with. But your healing starts with you. And I'm going to talk about Jesus for a moment because I love Jesus. I've done a whole podcast on Jesus. And I believe Jesus is one of the most powerful healers that have ever walked this planet. And the reason why I say that is because he was so pure. Because he looked at people and he saw them. He didn't see what other people saw. He saw them. He saw whomever was in front of him. And he went and worked with all people. But what one of his great teachings isn't about how he touched people and they were healed and cured. That wasn't his greatest teaching, at least not to me. To me, his greatest teaching was that he also recognized that he could only help spread love and healing to people that were open to it, to have their hearts open to it. He didn't come down and say, I am this great, powerful, almighty healer, and every person I come in contact to, I'm going to heal, and I'm going to change this whole world. And sometimes it is taught that way, but that is not who, to me, that is not who he is. He came down, he was humble. He trusted and knew what he was to accomplish, why he was here. And he also knew that the path was not always going to be easy. But he knew it wasn't about him. He knew that everyone that he touched had to have their hearts open. And it didn't have to be a big opening. It could be a tiny crack that was like, I'm willing to step forward. And I know this too because it's been part of my journey. When I started down this path in receiving healing and learning about Reiki and my spirituality, I went slowly. I put my toe in it. I said it didn't work. But there was a crack, a part of me in my heart that knew it did because I knew who I was. And I just needed to be reminded of who I am. And that's what sometimes we all need, is we need somebody in front of us that reminds us of who we truly are, to allow us to begin to go within and to begin to become whole and pure again, to allow in that divine love to come through and reach more people. And I know in my heart that we all can do this. We all can do this. And I also know that it may not be an easy road. So when we talk about healing and curing, it's not always the same. Sometimes healing leaves the curing, but it's not always the case. And remember that sometimes in this, it's also healing it's always healing our relationship, but A couple podcasts ago, I talked to Jean, and she had shared the story about her mother and how she was working on healing her mother, and her mother passed away, and that was really defeating for her. And I said to her, because healing isn't always about curing, and sometimes healing helps us to move on into the afterlife, the next life, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes healing is death. And being okay with it and accepting it and seeing that it's not the end. It's only a continuation in another form of our journey. So I hope you all got something out of this podcast today. I hope you listened with an open heart. And as always, take what resonates with you, and whatever doesn't resonate, just leave it here and let it go. There's no need to carry it. And we don't have to always agree eye to eye on things, because we all come from different perspectives. We all come from different parts. We all have different energy. But do know we all are connected to this oneness, to this divine, unconditional, beautiful love. Go out and spread some love in this world today. I am sending all my love to all of you. Until next time, bye bye for now.